Good morning, class 7. Today in chemistry, your chapter is physical and chemical changes. Changes in the nature is a fundamental law of nature. There are changes everywhere, transformation everywhere, from seed to plant, from flower to seed. All these are sunrise, sunset, day, night, changes in the season, you are growing up, all these are changes. Now here is some changes which you will study, that is different types of changes. Changes can be categorized in many ways, like changes by natural way or by man-made, slow and fast, periodic, non-periodic, physical change, chemical changes, desirable, undesirable, reversible, irreversible, also exothermic and endothermic. Now what is natural change and man-made change? When, example, if you plant a seed and you put water and it gets the correct amount of heat and everything, then germination occurs, and from the seed a seedling is coming up, and slowly that changes into a plant, grows into a plant. So this is a natural change. Next, one more. As in geography you were reading about weathering, I told you how rain is formed, the wind is going up, it is accumulating, cooling down, cloud is forming. So that is also a change. Next is man-made changes. For example, cooking food. When your mother cooks for you the tastiest food, that also from raw it is been boiled and it changed into a tasty food. Building of bridges, roads, dams, etc. are all man-made changes. Many places you can see that, okay, one more change is also your cutting off nails. That is also a good change. It grows up naturally. Now man-made changes, in many of the parks you can see that grasses are cut into shapes. Then miniature grass cutting is done. That is shaping and outcrafting. That is also a man-made change. Some changes are slow, where some changes are fast. Slow changes that occur over a long period of time. That takes a long time is known as slow changes. For example, growth of a plant, growth of a baby, just like you are in class 7, but it have taken long period. You just after birth only you didn't come to class 7. That also took slowly one year, 365 days a year, and you have grown up this much. So that is a slow change. Then ripening of the fruit. First the flower comes up, then the flower, from the flowers fruits is occurring, like mangoes. Now in the trees you can see small flowers and small mangoes. You have to wait for a few days, then the mango will be raw. Then after more days you will wait and you will get a ripened mango. So everything, this is a slow change. Fast change. What is fast change? Fast change, when you put fire on a paper, it burns out into ashes. That is called fast change. Fast change which occur over a very short period of time. Like if I tell you, if you break an egg and put it in the hot pan, then it will convert into an poach. That is also a fast change. So fast change are one that happens instantly. Next, after these two changes, one more next change is periodical change and non-periodic change. Periodic change. What is periodic change? That days and night. A certain time of period is there when it is day, and again it is night, again day, and that period is regular interval is same. It seasons, it is coming after a certain month, rotation of the earth, it takes 24 hours to complete one rotation. So a change which is repeated after a regular interval is known as periodic change. And non-periodic changes, changes that are not repeated after a regular interval of a time, it is called non-periodic change. For example, volcanic eruption, earthquake. Does earthquake occur every time? No. After a long time, due to some reason, earthquake occurs. Thundering, lightning, all these are all non-periodic changes because they are not repeated after a regular interval. Next is physical changes and chemical changes. Changes in which the chemical composition of the substance remain unchanged is called physical change. No new substance is formed. Energy change is usually small. It can often it is often easy to reverse. Like if you melt butter, then if a butter cube you put in fire, it will melt, but it will remain butter. When it is cooled down, we get it back, we will get the butter. Just like folding and cutting of a paper, drying of your clothes, melting of ice, all these are physical changes. Water into ice. When you freeze the water, it changes into ice. Again it melts, and again you can change. The physical components and physical things are not changed of the water. Cutting of a paper, cutting of a cloth, cracking of eggs are some example which is irreversible physical change. These are physical changes but which cannot be reversed. I can cut the paper, I can stick it with a gum, but the paper will not be the same intact paper if I use a scissor. So it is change, but it is irreversible physical change which we cannot change. Physical change. Now comes chemical change. A change in which the chemical composition of the substance changes. For example, where the energy considerably is involved in the change, it is usually difficult to reverse. Like when do you eat curd? If you eat curd, that curd I mean dahi, it is made up of milk. So you cannot change that curd into milk again because the composition have changed, the fermentation have occurred and it have changed into curd. Like that, photosynthesis, digestion. When we eat something, we digest it and the vitamins are absorbed from our body. We cannot change it again into physically as the solid food particles. Cooking of the food, when we put our, for example, if you like potatoes, you boil potato, but can we change the potato as a raw? No. So these are all chemical changes. Okay, decomposition of ammonia gas, decomposition of ammonia chloride, decomposition of calcium carbonate on heating is in a closed system, recharging of a discharged battery. Dischargement the battery is not used are some example of reversible chemical changes. These changes are done. Next, desirable changes. What is desirable changes? Changes that is useful to us is called, like if you now mango is coming, some of you will like ripened mango. So when the raw mangoes are changed into a ripened mango, that is your desirable change. For instance, if you don't like to drink milk, you ask your mother to give you curd. So your mother convert that milk into curd. So that is a desirable change. Now undesirable changes. Undesirable changes are the changes that is harmful to us, is called undesirable. For instance, if the milk is not been changed into curd but it have curdled, that means it is rotten. That is undesirable change. For instance, if you have burned your finger, that is undesirable change. When a fruit is kept in house, you forget to eat and it gets rotten. That is undesirable changes. Changes which are harmful to us is known as undesirable changes. Next is reversible, non-reversible. Reversible. The greatest things of reversible change is that we can reverse by reversing the condition that brought about the change. It's called reversal. For example, not in the change in which we can change the state of the matter. For example, if I take ice cubes, first a glass of water, I put it in the freeze and it changed into ice. If I don't want the ice, if I keep it outside in a warm place, then it again changes into water. So this one is reversible change. Whereas irreversible change is if you like to eat egg and you are thinking how to eat it. For instance, at 1 second you would like to eat it boiled egg. You started boiling it. Now, within a few minutes after putting it in boiling, your mind changed and you want to do a omelette out of it. Can you do it? No, because it has already started boiling. So that change is not reversible. It is irreversible changes. Okay. Next is exothermic and change and endothermic change. What is exothermic change? Exothermic change is change in which energy is released from the heat. It's called exothermic change. Like we put fireworks and if we put our hand we can feel the heat. That is exothermic change. And what is endothermic change? Change in which energy is absorbed in the form of heat is called endothermic change. For melting or cooking food, when we cook food, food absorbs the heat and it gets boiled. So that is known as endothermic